Individuals convicted or accused of a crime may soon have the opportunity to make deals bargaining for a lesser sentence, as Saint Lucia is moving to introduce a formal plea bargaining system as part of efforts to strengthen the country's criminal justice system and improve the efficiency of court proceedings. Minister for Crime Prevention, Honorable Jeremiah Norbert, explained that the system would allow those convicted and attorneys at law to engage in plea discussions.
The purpose of this bill is to provide for plea bargaining and post-sentence plea bargaining to enable the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecution, and an accused person or convicted person, whether represented by an attorney at law or unrepresented, to engage in plea discussions and enter plea agreements in relation to the prosecution of a summary offense, an indictable offense, or an offense triable summarily or on indictment.
Norbert said plea bargaining is not entirely new to Saint Lucia, noting that it has been used in practice. He explained that what has been missing is a clear statutory framework to formally regulate the process.
Although we've seen plea bargaining happen in practice in Saint Lucia, what we don't have is a statutory framework governing plea bargaining. And what this bill is intended to do is to give us that framework. And the bill addresses the gap by establishing a comprehensive and structured process that is subject to judicial oversight. The bill also authorizes the DPP to enter plea bargaining with an accused person and post-sentence plea bargaining with a convicted person in specified circumstances. And under the bill, plea bargaining may be undertaken where an accused person accepts responsibility for an offense, agrees to cooperate with the prosecution, or agrees to provide evidence in criminal proceedings.
The minister explained that in some cases, a person may be apprehended even though they were not fully responsible for the crime. Under the new system, they may be able to reach an agreement with prosecutors, but only if the information they provide is truthful and valuable to the case.
Sometimes the man walking the streets with the gun in his hand, he just rent the firearm, or his partner just allow him to hold that, or the bossman has made it available to him. Mr. Speaker, what the plea bargaining bill does, it allows for an individual, if caught by the police and decides to go into a bargain, I don't want to use the words rat out, but they can give information. I don't want to call them soothsayer or informer either, Mr. Speaker, but it allows for them to be able to give information. And if the information can be deemed truthful and it can lead to further breakthroughs for the police, Mr. Speaker, that person may be in a position to get a reduced sentence. The bill allows for that person to be in a position to get a reduced sentence.
The proposed legislation would give police another tool in the fight against criminal gangs by allowing offenders who provide useful information to potentially receive consideration for a reduced sentence. However, providing information would not automatically guarantee a shorter sentence. The final decision would remain with the court and the presiding judge, who would assess each case and determine whether any reduction is appropriate. The bill also makes provisions for individuals who have already been convicted, creating a possible avenue for cooperation even after a conviction.
The bill also makes provision for someone who has been convicted. So you've gone to court, you've already been convicted, you're at the bodily correctional facility. As Nintas put it, some people find Jesus in jail. So if there's a small blue Bible, you figure you find Jesus and you want to give some information. Even after you're convicted, that the bill makes provision where you can go into a plea bargain and you may get a reduction in sentence based on the quality of information that you provide the police or the investigator with.
The measure is intended to support the administration of justice while putting safeguards in place to ensure the process is not abused. Under the proposed system, information provided by offenders could assist law enforcement with investigations and prosecutions involving serious criminal activity. Norbert explained the approach recognizes that in certain circumstances, cooperation from offenders may provide valuable leads while allowing the courts to retain the final say over sentencing. For Hot 7 TV News, I am Ethne Brown reporting.